Yes, stepping razor. So we see a little thing come out about bun where the GLP put them picture. As a matter of fact, them make the package green and then put them picture, whosoever they put them picture upon it. And also some bag where them call, where the school people them put them things in, they make it green and put GLP on it. Now, I don't know if them know, say, in a Jamaica, set up people them way there, because in a Jamaica, Havana green bag, Havana green bag is one, because you have people who take it to the limit. Take it to the limit. Them no want to wear nothing green and nothing orange. So when you have a youth have a green bag and then have GLP right upon it, you set up the youth. Yeah, you set up the youth. But not only that, I don't know if election are come, why them feel say it's time again for really trick the hungry belly people them in Jamaica, and especially in the East here, that you are going to make some package with bun in it and put it green and put your picture upon it like it's you make the bun. Total disrespect. Total. As a matter of fact, me think that the $10,000 when them did offer 60-year-old people and over was really something, like really, you offer them $10,000 to take a vaccination. That is like you try buy out the people them with $10,000 like what you usually do in an election. It's just that you up it up from $5,000 to $10,000 now. And and you have in an election you give them Kentucky fried chicken and these things. But now, how can a government be so low? When I say low, I mean low. And me see it, and me hope say somebody run joke on JLP in a Rasta. I wonder if some PNP people do that. But it don't look that way there really, because the bun them, they might give out the bun them, the people, it's not like a picture you watch. It's a video you watch. And me don't know because me don't hear them say nothing about it. Or them not going to say nothing about it because it's something where them would have stooped to. So when I say, if this is the case, to that show how low this government is, or this Jamaica Labour Party, and then the PNP, them, by the way, them have a PNP are still. I don't know if them have a People's National Party. It come like them keep through COVID, them can't keep no party. And that, how can you stoop so low? If you put picture and jail people and bun, forget the Jamaican people them. Who come up with them idea there? Who come up with them idea there, really and truly? What, you see, that is, I want to tell the Jamaican people, that is how these politicians say, the Jamaican people, When they offer $10,000 to take vaccination, this is how the government, including the People's National Party, which is part of the government, this is how the government say, the people of Jamaica, that them licky. You remember when Crawford said, the dirty labor right them and the plywood comrade? Him know what he was saying. Dirty labor right and plywood comrade is a good example of licky people where anytime election come round or anytime politician come in them area, them run them down for a $5 and a $10. Serious thing. And though nobody address it, and when I said nobody, I mean the politician them for say if this is true or false. And until them can't tell me say it's false, I'm going to say it's true. It's just so it's going on. Until them tell me say no go so, I go and say it's true. Them a try buy out the people them with bun and cheese. Can you imagine that? Which parties in the Caribbean that go and see government to do that? Or politicians that do that? You know, so me enjoy the lockdown. Me enjoy the lockdown, you know. We had talk last night and we say, can you imagine some man where never usually see the yard of the day and never see so like all him wall. Him never even know say him wall paint a certain colour. Much less him never notice say him have new underpants in him drawer. Him ask him wife say, over them new underpants, she say she just buy them for him and see all pants hang up underneath in the closet. And you might wonder how come him never see that pants before. Enough things, but sometimes it's nice to sit in and just have yourself to yourself. You understand? Yeah. Get away from it. It's just that a whole heap of people who do it lose them work. Yeah, the coconut man and the jerk chicken man and the cane man and all them people, they lose them work. But as me I say, yeah, you know, sometimes one door closed, the other door open. You sit on a yard and you start to figure out other things. And it is good to figure out other things. You understand? But the best thing is to keep yourself safe and sound, because it's useless you have a job and your job will make you in danger of catching something where will almost kill you or kill you for that matter. So, yeah, you know, so it go. Them say the thing they on the rise and the hospital bed them short. You understand? So them don't want a whole heap of people to have it, to reach the stage now where them can't deal with it. But it's enough people, them said dead yesterday. I want to tell you, the most I ever hear dead yesterday. It's a serious thing.
The PNP is in power, murder rises. Whenever the PNP is in power, crime rises. And I keep telling people that you have a greater chance of being murdered in Jamaica than by being hit by a car. We can't live like that in our own country. So the Labour Party makes another commitment to you. Unlike the PNP, who say nothing can be done about crime, the Labour Party don't share that. We believe that there is a lot that we can do to solve crime in this country. There is a lot that we can do to bring down murders in this country. There is a lot that we can do to make you safer in your house and in public spaces.
We did talk about the bun and cheese business where the government bend low or whosoever in the party are some arms house vibes. Them have the people them pan arms house vibes. $10,000 now bun and cheese. Arms house business. Yeah, man, without a doubt. You know, low life kind of politician them. Low life. That is what we are saying. Anyway, we know say them must celebrate Taki in this week, yeah. Taki celebration is high. And Taki, if those of you who don't know, was one of the men who lead the biggest slave uprising in Jamaica, from St. Mary all the way to Westmoreland. Now, I don't remember it's where we're going at the Parliament building for one time, and I listen to these people. I talk about the heroes them, and I hear Robert Montague, a.k.a. Sleepy, say that the youth them, I hear me say, you know, the youth them should have followed the example of Taki and man like Taki. And I say, in myself, I say, boy, what a serious statement that. I'm really serious. Can you imagine if the youth them start to follow Taki? Him wouldn't stand up in a parliament and attack when I say, and none of them were in there with that stand up and attack when I say, if the youth them did really recognize Taki as a hero. So he must say, Taki should be a national hero. I guess true, Miss part of the St. Mary thing and thing. Him recognize, yes, Taki. Taki should be a national hero. Taki. And what we should have do also is that the guys them, I will not call them guys, the so-called Maroons who sell out Taki, them people them now, predecessors who they are so now should apologize. And not only for Taki, for every other uprising will take place in Jamaica. The Maroons quash and destroy the liberation of these African people who stand up against the British, because the Maroons was fighting with the British. And I asked one of the colonel them in a Moortown, say, why them not apologize? Them say them don't have nothing to apologize for. Because we are talking about Paul Bogle. And them say we have nothing to apologize for Paul Bogle. And I said, look you now, them captured Paul Bogle, them killed Taki and turn him over to the British. And you can go on and on and on and on and on with the people them who, the same way where them have a story about Nanny, a compound her brother, and she go over there and say, look here, when I sign up paper, you know, and them refuse her, and she go back her country, she go back over to the east part of Jamaica. I don't know true the story, but that's what we hear about. And them sign a paper. Could just sign a paper. And then we hear some modern day Maroon I come tell people, say, him couldn't read. Then how him know say him get land? And who tell him say all of the land where them occupy now are Maroon land. And that the one them in a Portland too. Lord Portland, how much time I say this? No, a whole heap of time I say it, you know. Lord Portland come to Jamaica. And the Maroon them sit down with Lord Portland and re-sign the same thing where them did sign how much years ago with Portland without even making a change in anything in the document. So we go to Africa and we see the chief them apologize for the part of them play. And these Maroon people are talk about them not apologize. And then them will come hold them up as some great heroes and things. Like say Maroon is a different set of people from the African. It's not a tribe. A Maroon is not a tribe. A Maroon is a misdemeanor. The word Maroon. Yes, we'll talk about the Maroon them. And them deliberate move to side with the English, the British, to capture Africans who did a run from slavery. To because them are secure for them. Them was not Africa. It's like in Africa when the Arabs take over and now them have black people as Muslims. These Africans who call themselves Muslims, them don't recognize Africans who is not Muslims. So them will do anything. As a matter of fact, they did anything in Africa. And some of them sell out Africans enslavement because of them religious belief. That is why you have so much Arab language in the Maroon them language. It mix up in there. Salam alaikum and all them things. If you dig deep into the Maroon them, you'll find a whole heap of Islamic or Arabic language inside it. Because them don't see themselves as Africans when them is Muslim. And me have a good example of that when we go to Senegal. Yes, when we go to Senegal, we recognize, but when you turn Muslim now, you don't recognize yourself as African, just like Christian people. When them take up the Christian religion and you talk about Africa, them don't want to hear nothing about Africa. Well, these people who call themselves Maroon, who are going like say Maroon, is a different group of Africans. It's not no different group of Africans. It's just that them run away and go form a community and then now lobby for the right to do certain things and them sit down with the British and make a deal with the British. And the deal is that, all right, we're going to give this portion of land and that portion of land. We're going to give autonomy, self-government. But anytime you hear about runaway slave, you must hunt them down and either kill them or bring them to us. Make we know what to do. And that is what them do with Taki. The greatest rebellious leader in Jamaica. And if you check all of them, all Sam Sharp, them get you that Sam Sharp. The British never know the mountains. It's the Maroon, them know the mountains. So them could have go dig deep into the mountain, them go capture Sam Sharp. Them capture Paul Bogle. Them capture Taki. Them capture Three Finger Jack. All of these people, them capture. and it over and over to the British. And then now come round now and come tell you about, them is this and them is that. And them now apologize. Them now apologize. If me go to Africa and hear chiefs stand up in front of thousands of people and apologize for the part them play in the slave trade, why these people, I come talk about them now apologize, and them want we, not I ever say we, them want me to accept them as some great liberation and freedom fighters, and not doing it until them apologize. That is what they must do. They must apologize to the African them was living today for the manipulation of the rebellions that take place, especially the one with Taki from St. Mary. Taki, that great medicine man, that great Obia man, people afraid of it, Obia man, medicine man, who lead the army of Africans and drive fear in the British. Fear in the British. And now we hear Bobby Montague say, them want some people, some youth, to follow the example of Taki. May I tell Bobby Montague, say, Bobby Montague, if the youth them ever follow the footsteps of Taki, none of you will sit down in a parliament to that day. May I tell you that? Because you represent the same government that enslaved our ancestors over the 400 years. And you still is puppet on strings, doing the bidding of the slave master. So the white face is not present, but the white face is represented in the roast bread fruit. But you have to peel away the black of the skin of the breadfruit when it roasts to see the white in it. And that is what these people represent in Jamaica. Them is working for the crown. In Parliament, them have a scepter that represent the mace, at least the mace them call it, that represent the crown. And them swear to the Queen and her successors. That means when Queen Elizabeth dead, and the other one follow her dead, and the next one follow her dead, them still a swear have this man sit down in the big house. I talk about him is representing the Queen, and who pay him? Who pay him? It's not the Queen who pay him. It's government money who pay him. Why we need a Governor General? Every time we repeat that over and over and over and over and over. We repeat it because nothing has been done since we said the last 99 times. And the last 99 times not going to surface until we say 200 times, until something is done about it. You can't have a sovereign state. And then when you go in a court, you talk about the crown versus Anthony, the crown versus John Tam. No, you must say the people versus John Tam. The people. You must try people in the name of the people. You can't try people in the name of the crown. That is not independence. That is not sovereign. And them know that too. But them resist and refuse to listen to the voice of the people them continuously and do the same wrongness. And make you have to come and radio, come talk and talk and talk and talk. And we not stop talk. And not stop talk. You understand? We say the Maroons them take side with the British and kill Taki. As them celebrate Taki this month, this week, them take side with the British and kill Taki. Them take side with the British and kill Paul Bogle. Capture Paul Bogle. Them take side with the British and capture Three Finger Jack. Them take side with the British and kill, kill Sam Sharp. And you soon bring up some more in our history when people start to study and study, them going to realize how much of these people that the man them come sign over a treaty in a Portland, in front of Lord Portland, them sign a treaty. The treaty that them claim say them couldn't read and them just put an X there and this and that is foolishness. It's foolishness. Them know what them was signing. Them know what them was signing because them carry out what them signed to. If them never know what them signing, them would refuse to capture any Africans. Them would say, them would know, say them did have land stretch from way up in a St. Elizabeth, go clear down to Montego Bay. Them would know that. So them know what them was signing, is who them a come tell them thing there. Who them a come tell them thing there. And we are told now that this one, you know, a Sri Alliance allegiance to the Queen again. What kind of madness is that? That is why the gun crime thing's so terrible. Because the people them need a direction. What is the plan for this escalating violence in the Jamaican society? What is the plan? We have been hearing about crime plan from how much years now? Only for years, you know. Believe you me, before we even think about COVID, we did hear about crime plan. Now we say them roll out a COVID plan. And I'm going to say it 110 times. I'm going to say it 122 times. The gun in a Jamaica I kill more people than COVID. That way I say, over 100 people per month dying, murdered. So we're gone, it's January, February, March, April, at the 4th month we now. And we saw about 400. We saw about 400. What is the plan? We hear the COVID plan, lockdown, wear masks, whatsoever, vaccine a come and all them something there. We hear that. And we see that a go on. But the main thing right now, the main thing is the murder rate in Jamaica. We have one of the highest murder rates in the world. In the world. Can you imagine this country where we behave like America? We look like America, but we have third world thinking. We have a first world look with a third world thinking. And it is led by the government of Jamaica. This first world look, highways and buildings, skyscrapers going up. But guess what? The mindset of the government and the people is of a third world nature. And when we look at places like Haiti where people degrade all the while, Haiti not have that amount of murder go on there. Which one would I expect? All them guns were coming on the island. The murder rate is escalating to a point of no return. And we see that go on with the COVID. But if you have a choice between fighting the COVID and fighting the murder rate, which one would you choose to get rid of the murder rate? I would choose that. Because at least you can bob and weave around the COVID, you know, you can wear your mask, drink a little hot water, and drink enough hot tea and all them something there, and follow certain little immune system guidelines where them not tell you about. Where is the plan for the quelling of the murder rate? That is what we are talking about. Yeah, Azwad?
Yeah, where are you?
You hear me?
Yeah.
Give thanks, man. How you doing, man?
Yeah, man, everything cool, man.
All right. So, we are here about this. Just like Jamaica, you know, same kind of system, same kind of Queen Elizabeth system where they're not allowing young children with locks in a school. Explain what's going on in Ghana there as it relates to that.
Yeah, well, the same thing, yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. I'm hearing you. Go through.
No, you say the same thing, but what? I mean, I know that there's a lobbying going to stop them from doing it. What is happening? What part you are playing now?
Okay. All right, what happened now is one of the youth, and it's two youth. One of them is Iman's son. One of them Oinaba in Krabia, 16 years old. So they want to take him to the school to register him. teachers in the school keep saying, oh, they don't accept Rastas in the school, but I never really take them too serious because registration never fully got through yet until around the 18th when they say we must bring the children there and enroll them. So when I reached on there that time, and went up now to get the prospectus, which outline all the different items that you're supposed to have. You went there with all those items, and they're supposed to take it and put it in some kind of locker until, I think it's the 22nd or whatever. So they rejected him right there and then. And I wasn't really at the front when that happened. The mother come back and tell me that I'm not taking him. So I said, okay, let me go to deal with it myself. When I reach up there, they're telling me the same thing. So I said, all right, no problem. I will talk to the principal, the headmistress. So I went over there now to talk to the headmistress, and, you know, she had herself very busy. She wasn't seeing no one. So I said, let me deal with the assistant headmaster. Go downstairs and go deal with them. And the first thing the man says that we don't accept dreadlocks in this school. We don't accept Rasta children in here. And we did it last year and the year before, and we have turned them away, and they took us to court, and we won. So you're free to go wherever you want to go.
Oh, them can't go court. Them can't go court last year.
Yeah, the year. Them said that last year and the year before, some parents must carry them to court, and they won. So I said, all right, no problem. So I leave now and carry home the youth, and then the lawyer called me and tell me that I must go back and let them give it to me in writing. So when I go back now to get it in writing, I saw a little youth and his father, dreadlock, sit down outside waiting on him. So I said, what are you all doing here? And say he was rejected, you know, and this youth had the highest mark in at school. Yeah, they rejected him.
So the minister, them have a minister of education down there where you appeal to, or just the school and you are deal with it?
No, I deal with the Ministry of Education. We're meeting with them. We're meeting with the Ghana Education Service first.
Yeah.
Director and deputy director. And then them call another meeting with the director from the Ministry of Education.
Yeah.
So go over there to discuss the whole issue. And basically what he was saying is that they're going to try and find a place for him to go into another school while they're discussing the whole issue. So we must wait. So they gave us must 3 days. After 3 days pass, we don't hear them. So we just take them to court. So right now it's in court.
Oh.
And the injunction is placed on the school right now to accept them immediately. But because the judges are on recess and they're not coming back until Monday, well, Monday they will deal with it from that point. So we'll see exactly how everything runs. Because if this goes through, that they will be forced to take the children in school until the case finish.
So
that is the people done. You know, some very arrogant people who they are pushing their Christian doctrine.
What I notice is most of Christian people do these things, you know. Most of Christian in Jamaica, it's Christian-minded people don't want to accept Rasta in a school. It's same here in Jamaica. You know, in Ethiopia, it's the same thing. It's a Christian mind. I don't know what is it with locks. I mean, in Jamaica, they talk about John John a year and lies and all, which is lie. When them I say, why them don't accept the locks? Why them don't accept it? As Rasta them don't accept. Which one?
What I feel really is that the Western culture that they embrace. Rastafari represent the African culture and liberty. And it is like, you know, it's an affront to them in that sense, you know.
Yeah.
Because they know Rastafari got history of resistance against certain colonial things.
Yeah.
And the guidelines that them have set up, the rules that them have, those rules are basically rules from colonial time coming up all over this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was pointed out to them in, you know, when I started the media campaign, because immediately after them do that, I just started to share everything on the internet and expose and make everything spread all over the place. Because that was the only thing that they would listen to, because they would listen to anything else, because they have a very condescending kind of way, very arrogant and condescending kind of way when they're defending themselves where this doctrine is concerned. So there wasn't any opening between me and the authorities to have any proper discussion. So I know that try to spread it out to the media.
All right, in Jamaica, them give this argument about John and lies. What is the reason them give why them don't allow blacks in that school? What is for them reason?
Well, they don't do that. They don't talk about that in Ghana here, right? They don't go talk about that part of it. I think it's more of a cultural issue because the tradition on here, dreadlocks well embedded in the system from way back, even before Rastafari rise up and bring it to Ghana. Yeah. Within their culture, there's a lot of dreadlocks that create and all kind of representation from a spiritual level. They are used to that. But the African culture is what they are fighting. The westernization and the colonialism is what
the Christian mindset.
Trying to save. Yeah. And
because
of reggae music, and the youth them are getting aware, and them fighting against certain things, it becomes a challenge to them right now because within the culture here, according to customs and tradition, they cannot express themselves within their culture and tradition a certain kind of way to reject certain things. But reggae music kind of give them that kind of freedom and the patois. Jamaican culture and behavior kind of give them that boldness to express themselves. So, it's like a clash of culture in a sense.
Yeah. So you have to go wait now till Monday to find out what are going on, that you say?
Yeah, because the judges are on recess and they're not coming out until Monday. But the injunction was placed on them from Monday, from Tuesday rather. So it is there waiting on them now. The Ministry was served, the Ministry of Education, Ghana Education Service was served as well. And the school been trying to avoid accepting the suit by, denying who's supposed to receive it and all of that. So they haven't received theirs yet. We're still trying to let them get it. But the other two institutions receive it. Normally when you sue in a government institution, automatically the Ministry of what it is now, Interior, they automatically come in and defend the government institution. So it is four of them that is being...
like the Attorney General in Jamaica.
Attorney General, the Attorney General.
Yeah, in Jamaica, yeah.
It's the
same British system.
Same thing, yeah.
Same British system.
So that is what's happening right now with them.
There's
a different issue over here because the union, teachers union coming out and backing them. And they have a very reactionary kind of approach. Same way, Yeah. There's the whole issue of some of us who have returned to have a certain amount of upfront posture within the society and doing certain things, speaking up front and speaking out against certain things and so on.
Like the GMO thing when we know I lead up, the GMO vibes in a guy, I know says I only one supposed to vex with the item about that.
Yeah, man, big time, because 5 years now we have that trouble there going and them can't pass it because every time them try to pass it, both governments, the first government that was in power, it was the same thing. Then this new government come in, I will stop it every single time. So it's a major challenge for them to really get you and they realize they will determine I will not back down.
So how far that reach? How far that GMO reach?
Well, so far, we still, we still encourage it in terms of proving the scientific validation in terms of our position that is not good for the society and the government should not impose it on the people. So we just see it now, we're trying to bring in scientists and different experts to come in now and trying to prove certain things.
Yeah. Well, everything say the progress. I mean, whenever everything that way still, but Ghana is supposed to be one of the more progressive states in Africa, and we're still there at the level of locks. Really, you can't see how deep the British thing is, the Christian mind is, how deep it is. Because I see them where them going on in Jamaica, the little technocrats, them were working at the ministry, them and all them. Them can't take when they see dreadlocks coming there without nothing on their head, Them can't take it.
No. No, they don't like it, my lord. They don't like it. And because these two youth now have two of the highest marks, you know. One of the youth can get 6, and my youth get 10. And them two marks are two high marks in school, especially 6 is the highest marks.
Mm.
And that they didn't even consider all of that. Then just right when them not accept no Rasta, and they must cut it. And they have cut quite a few children because since this thing happened, other parents come out and call me and tell me, say, boy, them daughter is inside here. And I'll send me a picture of them dreadlocks and get cut off and all this kind of thing. Another woman call me and show me, say, her daughter get rejected, even though she never having a laptop here, it was just long.
Yeah, and she have to cut off her because she want the people going to the school. Because they want the people going to the school, them cut off the ear. Yeah, people like in Jamaica said, I tell you. No better air, no better barrel. Something
about Muta is that when them cut it off like that and the girl them reach all 18 and so on and so forth, them have a problem because they want to style up like everybody and they don't a year to style. Because it's done ball off already. So they find out that they must have to wear wig and earpiece and all those kind of things.
Oh gosh, man, I tell you, man, what a sad state of affairs.
Because that's a serious economic problem because they have to import all of those wigs and stuff like that.
Yeah, from India and all them places. Yeah. Yeah, them not going to the market and see it, man. most of the women them have a wig and weave and them are selling pan stick and all them something they hang up on the side of the road.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. But you know the struggle continue, you know, it have to go on, you know, we have to do it, you know, we can't stop. We're not stopping up, we're not stop, Bridging.
No.
It's a life struggle, you know. Anyway, we're going to wait again and see what going to happen next week and see what going to happen. And just keep me abreast with where I go on because it's something where I go on not only in Ghana but all in Ethiopia too. You know, see it?
We're not taking it to the United Nations, you know, because it's an international thing right now. So we want to unify all of those struggles all over the world against Rastafari and deal with it from the UN level.
Yeah. Yes, brethren. All right, give thanks. Give thanks, Aswad.
All right, mate. All right, man. Love, my lad.
Yeah. That was my brethren, Aswad. We live in Ghana. Years now. I'm the deputy CEO of the Empire. Agri, Ghana Limited. Mobilization Director of Food Sovereignty, Ghana. Anti-GMO advocacy. You have to that's what the man they do when you go down to Ghana. You have to fight against GMO in Ghana. And now we see that a youth and him film son is rejected in a school in Ghana because of being Rasta having locks on them head. Can you believe that? We still have got through that, you know. All over. We still have got through it. But the race is not for the swift and the battle for the strongest. Who can do it to the end, and we are going to endure. We is going to endure. No care what them do. So we're going to go to the time signal and come forward.
The time brought to you by IRIE FM is?
Yeah, it's 4 o'clock, what did it say? Yeah. I don't see the fight against Locks and Rasta. There is a running for election in Gambia. A Gambian who sight up Rastafari and decide say him going to run election in December in a Gambia. Yes, we play him speech last night. You know, we don't have no time to play it again, but yes, the brethren say, look, I don't judge him by him appearance, you know, he know exactly what to do. As a matter of fact, he's one of the only politicians we ever hear say politicians should only get 5 years as president. Because him already sign a paper say after 5 years, him now run for re-election as president if him win. So you must know that you serious as a Rasta man in a Gambia, yes. And you know Gambia, about 2 million people over there, a very small country in a Senegal. Senegal is the French part, Gambia is the English part. But it's one country, white people divide it up. Yes. Blessed.
Hello.
Betty?
Yes. This is
you hearing me loud and clear? I want you to hear me loud and clear, you know.
You're clear enough, yes? I
All
hope
right,
you can
give
hear
thanks.
me well.
Yeah, I'm hearing you well. How you do? How you do? How you do? Long time.
Shaktana Kabisa Kaka. I'm very well. How are you?
I am very well. Whatever you just said a while ago in that language, I'm very well in that language too. You know?
Absolutely.
Well, I get good news. Every time somebody come down there, I get good news. Say, I bet you the headquarters for anyone who come there from Jamaica, where you have to grab them down there, so. What is it that you have there that everybody is gravitating towards, Betty?
I suppose the authenticity and by natural selection, because it's real. And we come, we saw, we came, we saw, we conquered, we returned.
Yes, yeah. Well, I remember I was at the sender party, and one of your brethren said, one of your brethren said, "Cho, 3 years, my girl, 3 years to come back."
Well,
God, 11 years, bro. Well, you actually did come visit me one time. I can't remember the last time I talked to you. You come up at the house, come check me and all them way there, so. But, you know, you're stable in it, so now. So tell me something, the restaurant, it's like the restaurant where you used to run in Jamaica?
Yes, we opened 10 years ago, Velicious, Dar es Salaam, and we changed it a bit because Velicious Kingston, as you know, was a gourmet vegetarian vegan restaurant when we first opened, and then we added some pescatarian type menu, just the seafood. When we got here, in concept radically. When I first came, you know, as you know, Muta, my background is in construction, and when I first came to Tanzania, my plan was to build low-income houses, but the mortgage, there is no such thing as a mortgage structure or anything for, you know, real estate, set up for real estate at the time, so it was not plausible, you know, it wasn't feasible. And so I decided to do the next best thing, you know, my second love, which was, of course, you know, was
food.
Cooking and feeding people proper food. So we decided to open Tanzania's, I decided to open Tanzania's first Jamaican Caribbean restaurant.
Okay. And it'll go on since that now, and it is going on.
10 years old now. Pardon?
Yeah. No, I said it's going quite okay for you.
Well, absolutely. You know, I've not regretted it. Not a day have I regretted it. From I landed here on the 22nd of March 2010. I've not looked back. No.
All right. So, all right, make a switch the subject.
Other restaurants. We have since opened a vegetarian restaurant, Kind Earth, and we have opened a third restaurant, a second Jamaican restaurant, and the third restaurant is actually a totally gourmet vegan raw food restaurant, Kind Earth.
You'll see,
so technically we have 3 restaurants and a wine bar.
That's beautiful, man. Beautiful. All right. Make us switch the subject now. Tanzania have a new president, a female who was a Muslim and thing. Tell Jamaican people what is it that, or how she reached to that stage. We know she was the vice president still, but how she reached to that stage that now she is a woman, a Muslim, and be in a country with how much millions of people as president.
Absolutely. Our new president's name, of course, is President Samia Suluhu Hassan. And we're very proud, all the women are proud of her. We know and we hope that she's going to perform. She's a very capable woman. She, of course, was elected vice president in 2015. She served in the first term of President Magufuli. And again, he appointed her in his second term 6 months ago because, as you know, he passed away on the 17th of March last month, you know. And as per the Constitution, the Vice President, of course, must assume the role as President. I think she herself was a little shocked because nobody saw it coming. And it was surreal for a while. But luckily enough for all of us, she gathered her wits and, sat on a chair and professed that she's the president. And she has all intentions of doing it her way and the right way. And she's not going to be led, and she's not going to be bullied into accepting the old or things that she don't believe would be for the benefit, or anything that her conscience and her mindset is not going to go against her conscience or her mindset. She's not going to allow it. So for that, she's made some changes already. She has, there was once a decree that pregnant schoolgirls, once teenagers in Tanzania got pregnant, they weren't allowed to ever continue with their education. One. Two, the young fellow or whomever it is that was responsible for the pregnancy was also to be incarcerated for 40 years. President Magufuli got a lot of flack from the World Bank and all of the international agencies, and of course the people who of course, is about the gender equality. I see where she is now moving the Zanzibari government to reverse that law, which I believe is a wonderful step because, let's face it, if a young lady gets pregnant by accident, by abuse, whatever, by sometimes rape, no reason, no fault of hers, then it was a little unkind to punish her and to take away her right to education. It was up to me. It's a recipe for poverty because you're not going to allow this young girl to be educated and, of course, find her way and make her contribution to society. And then on the other hand, the person that you're assumed is responsible for the pregnancy, he also is going to be incarcerated for 40 years. So what does
40 years? 40 years?
40 years. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're looking at that, and I'm hoping that very soon the law will be lifted in the mainland, and as it will be in Zanzibar. So that's the first thing. Secondly, she has moved to allow a certain amount of press freedom, which was curtailed, in some respects, by the last administration. She's asking for transparency, and she's talking her talk, and she don't look like she's intimidated. So she's moving in the right direction.
Let me ask you, the opposition, how is the opposition managing the idea that this is a Muslim woman who is now governing? How them deal with that?
Well, Tanzania's politics is very complex. We could not say that we have a viable opposition. You
mentioned that it appears that she's going to roll back this idea about young females.
Girls.
Yeah, all right. Is there something there? Is there something that she indicates yet so far that she might roll back as it relates to what the former president used to do and what her vision of our, well, I don't want to say new Tanzania, but a different kind of governance? Is there something else that you...
Not radically so. No, because you must understand, as I was saying before we went to the break, that Tanzania's politics is very complex. You are asking how the opposition feels about her. And I was about to tell you that in Tanzania, we don't have a viable opposition the way we do in Jamaica, where you have the two political parties vying for leadership every 4 years. Tanzania is essentially a one-party, CCM, which is a CCM party country that was started by President Julius Nyerere. Much like as the ANC is to South Africa. So the party reigns supreme, and it is the party's manifesto that has to be followed by each and every president that comes out of the CCM.
Okay.
So President Magufuli, of course, he oftentimes went against the Constitution and went against the CCM manifesto and had his own way of doing things that some people agreed with, some people didn't. The large majority of people felt that it was putting Tanzania on the right track. Some people thought that his modus operandi, so to speak, was a little heavy-handed, much to the chagrin of a lot of people in business and in leadership positions here in Tanzania. So, to answer your question, she will not veer too far off what he had already put in place, because, as I said, majority of what he implemented had to do with the party's manifesto, and the party remains supreme here. She will, of course, have the opportunity to inject her own, nuances, but a radical change, I don't believe so.
So when you mention press freedom,
pardon?
Huh? No, a while ago, before we reached to that level, you was talking about the press freedom is not press freedom.
Right.
Under the former president. Or your view are now.
Right.
You think she going to slacken up the press?
Well, the thing is, she made a speech a couple of days ago, and she's saying that Tanzanians should be given the opportunity to voice their sentiments, and that she has no intention to muzzle the press. And she believes that it is the right of each citizen and journalist to state their views.
Yeah.
The strange thing is, just this morning, the Minister of Information gave a statement which he said, well, it's not all radio stations and it's not all newspapers are going to be allowed to the freedom, as she said. So this is what I'm saying, that, is what the party says more than what the president said, and why President Magufuli was such a so-called star and a radical is that he chose to do things his own way.
Him not care what they want to say.
Go against the written, what the understood and written.
Yeah. That is really something else, like, here's one man is doing what he want, doing no care, and now we reach a stage now where, well, you have to fall in line with how the party seat. The party seat say, yes, some of them will be given freedom, but some not given up freedom.
Well, let me tell you, sometimes you really don't have control over, in Jamaica we used to have a thing, and I don't know if you know this, it's a God a plan and man a wipe out.
Yeah.
Well, here's what now. Not for a million years would the same party believe that they would have been ruled by a woman today.
A woman, especially a Muslim woman.
Not only a Muslim. First of all, three things she had going against her. One, yes, first and foremost, she was female. Second, she was a Muslim. And third, she was from the semi-autonomous region of Zanzibar.
Yeah.
She's not a mainlander. Yeah. She's an islander. Because, as you know, Zanzibar also have their own their own president. Yeah? And the Union of Tanzania, emerged out of the unification of Tanganyika and Zanzibar. That became Tanzania. So when he chose her as his vice president, the Constitution demanded that he had to choose someone from Zanzibar, and he went ahead and chose who he believed would have been the most, I don't want to say docile, but for the want of a better word, or someone who would toe the line and not challenge him too much. Now, the thing is, when she herself realized now that she's going to have to take up the baton been passed to her, and she's going to have to move forward. I'm sure she was a bit nervous because this is completely new territory for her, for Tanzania. Tanzania is largely, for all intents and purposes, a patriarchal society. And, the rules are defined. This is a woman that still bows to her husband.
As a Muslim.
Pardon?
As a Muslim.
As a Muslim. But at the same time, as I pointed out to someone, I said, when someone sits on that chair and when the human realizes that they now have and they can wield, you might see a different person. You very well see a completely different personality emerging.
All right, Betty. Betty, hold that thought. I'm going to make you hang up and call you back because we have a long little break going on. So, but I can't make it done right this way. I can't make it done. There's more things that I really need to find out. So, hang up and I will make the producer call you back and then we'll continue it. Okay? All right. This is the Stepping Razor, the art of war. Yes. We're there forward. Betty? I don't hear her, Betty. Because she never remember to come forward them quicker. All right. So we are talking to Betty Delphas, a sister who used to live in Jamaica but moved lock, stock and barrel to Tanzania and is now running, what you just hear it, running 3 different restaurants. Yeah, vegetarian restaurant, raw food restaurant, and for those who eat fish and all these things restaurant. And she is one of those who, if you go into Tanzania, she almost like a representative for Jamaicans coming or going from Tanzania. So, you can check her. Very important lady. Betty, is still there? We're not here, Betty. We was talking about the present Prime Ministeress in Tanzania. For those of you who don't know, the new president after the death of the former president there is a female. She's a Muslim. And here the sister says she comes from Zanzibar, which makes it all more outstanding for a woman from Zanzibar, which is not the mainland, and a Muslim woman to now be the president of Tanzania. We was talking about the obstruction of press freedom in Zanzibar, in Tanzania, press freedom, and even though she said that the president say she feel that people must have freedom of press and all these things. She said yesterday they make an announcement that they're giving press freedom to some of the press. So say, obviously some of the press meeting said those who not towing the line have to just bar up their mouth. You understand? Yeah, Betty still there. She's not there as it. Yeah, you have to bar up their mouths. But that's very interesting. Speaking of Vice Cartel, and since we are waiting for Betty to come forward, one chief of police in Jamaica did say on TV, national TV, said Vibes Cartel is linked with 100 murders. No, from him say that till now, we don't hear no investigation a go on. We don't hear no family a come forward and a ball say them picnic missing and them thing there and his Vibes Cartel responsible. Yet still we see that same minister is now one of the chief persons in the ganja one of the chief persons in the ganja industry. You know what I'm saying? So we are saying it's ironical. How can you come and if I never do that to one of these people and finger them that way there? You know so much lawsuit come down from me and my mother were dead, my granny, my wife, my children, them and the radio station to say him fingered for 100 murders. That would be a serious mass killer, man. Mass killer. And that is in history. That is recorded that this man said. And nobody not do nothing about it. It's either you bring forward the people them who lose those people who Vibes Cartel kill, or you should be sued for that. Yeah, you should be sued for that, man. It's so simple. Because Vibes Cartel get tried and gone to prison. And now we are here, and not now, but we are here about 100 murders. Anyway, we get forward the sister. Yes, Betty?
Yes.
Betty, we have about 10 minutes left. And we have so much things. We have so much things. Yeah, it's not long at all. It's not long. Yeah. We still depend on the...
Not long enough, eh?
You know, all right, you know. The president, the president, what's your name? Where's your name?
Suhulu Hassan.
Suhulu Hassan. Suhulu Hassan.
President Hassan. President Samia Hassan.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Samia Nkrumah is the daughter of Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana. All right.
Indeed.
Yeah. All right. She, even though, all right, people recognize the former president as a Pan-Africanist.
Yes.
How them view this woman? Them see her as a nationalist or a Pan-Africanist?
They're all nationalists, first and foremost. Okay? Let me be clear on that. We're not quite sure yet. You must understand that all of these presidents, as I said to you before, that the political parties, you know, of the CCM is reign supreme. Now, within that, you always have a cabal, or cabal as they call it. We have no idea who hers is yet. And that, in Jamaica, we used to term it as the kitchen cabinet.
Yes,
we have no idea who her the people in her inner circle is yet. Yes, President Magufuli was a Pan-Africanist, but, you know, because of her religion, I don't know. I have never met the lady. I have met several times with President Magufuli, and I know his stance on repatriation. I know his stance on African liberation, etc. People from Zanzibar tend not to worry themselves too much about, say, the transatlantic slave trade. Zanzibar identifies more with the Arabic slave trade, that
definitely.
in fact predated the transatlantic slave
and
trade.
longer too. It was longer too. It was longer.
And it was much longer, and they still feel the effects. So there are thrusts in that direction. So presently, I must tell you, we're working on the right of return and the right of abode for diasporans who wish to return to the continent and specifically to Tanzania. Now, if I may take the liberty of saying that just in February, I had a meeting with the president of Zanzibar on the matter, and he asked that we put together a draft, a policy, to enlighten them on the needs and wishes and just update them on what it is that the diaspora is asking, and just educate them on just the mere existence and the thought that people want to come back to Africa, and people now is looking at Tanzania as one of the places that they want to relocate. And he looked at the diaspora more as Tanzanians who lived abroad, as opposed to black people outside of Africa, of which we had to remind him that the 6th region of Africa was established in 2003 at the African Union. And it is about time that the idea of the 6th region is not just something on paper, but Africans had moved now for, to do the tangibles, by allowing us home and setting a criteria that is one, doable, and one that is not going to treat us like, we have a word here for the whites returning to Africa, the whites that come to Africa, we call them Muzungu in Swahili. And we don't want to be treated like Muzungus. We want to be treated like Africans returning to Africa. And so the front. That's right. Coming home. We don't want to be treated as expatriates. We need to be recognized as repatriates and not expatriates. And he was very open, and I myself was a little, I wouldn't say taken aback, but I was surprised that they did not know more about this. So I'm saying that to say that we have started the process, and I suspect that the lady is quite open, and she's from Zanzibar, and we will continue to have dialogue with the president of Zanzibar, which I am sure would have, of course, and will in turn now speak to her, because it's an immigration issue, and it would be also a union matter, meaning the union of, the union that we spoke about earlier, which is the Zanzibar semi-autonomous region of Zanzibar and the mainland Tanganyika that makes up Tanzania.
Speaking of immigration, you need a visa to go to Tanzania?
No, you do not. You don't need a. Jamaica and Tanzania has had a history. Remember, Jamaica. Most Jamaicans of our age and maybe a decade younger or so. We remember Julius Nyerere.
Of course.
The most popular president after maybe Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, and Mandela was good friend.
He had a strong friendship with Jamaica and Michael Manley. And not only Michael Manley, but people like Dudley Thompson in 1961 was here and helped to create the Tanzanian constitution after independence. The first Attorney General of Tanzania was a gentleman called Vincent Cross from Trinidad and Tobago. You have also, the first Attorney General was also a Jamaican. You have people like Professor Ken Edwards, Jamaican, who established the Faculty of Commerce here. So Jamaica has been front and center in the building of Tanzania and is recognized and respected. And
so in other words, we don't need a visa then? In other words, we don't need a visa. That's what you're saying?
No, we don't need a visa. So for a long time, that has been established. It's one of the countries that, Jamaicans don't need a visa and Tanzanians don't need a visa to go to Jamaica.
Go to Jamaica, okay. Well, I want to tell you...
so to Uganda.
Yeah. All right, here we know. We have to do this. Maybe we have to do it at the night because there's not so much break in the night. Well, in the night here is in the day over there, so still. When me come on...
Yes, it's now 1:45 and you're robbing me on my beauty sleep. I have to remain good looking.
Yeah, well, me no name Musa. Muta my name.
Did I call you Musa?
No, not today. You never call me name today, but... anyway, this is between me and you. We don't make it public, but...
Absolutely.
It's me and you know what me I talk about, but...
Yeah,
all right.
Absolutely.
We have to find a time for the cutting edge when there's not so much break for really go through step-by-step thing, because there's so much things that me need to talk about. Given that we used to talk late hours at night, sit down late hours at night and talk all sorts of things. What we have to go do, we have to go. Yeah, we have to go. We give thanks for the connection, and as we say, we will keep the link, and then we come forward at a later date and deal with other subjects. You know, there's so much subjects in Tanzania. I will still never talk about the president, the old president yet. So, yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, I have to, because, you know, for some reason, Tanzania is on everyone's radar now.
Yeah, definitely. All right, give thanks, Betty. Yeah, it was nice.
Okay.
It was nice.
As I say in Swahili, Kwaheri.
Kwaheri.
And Asante Sana.
Asante Saba. Kwaheri, Asante Saba. Yes. Okay.
Kwaheri, goodbye, Asante Sana. Thank you very much. And it's night time here now, so I'm going to say to Isiku Wema, good night.
Okay. All right, good night, Mama. Give thanks.
All right, my brother.
Yes,
right,
that was Betty Delphos, Ingleton. Well, people might know her from the restaurant days when she used to run her vegetarian restaurant, and as a roofer, one of the most professional roofer, roofing. She do a lot of roof in Jamaica, so it was a main thing. Anyway, this is the stepping razor, the art of war. We have one more interview. Okay. I love it. Look, I got a paper here. Okay. So we have Dr. Andrew Williams, oncologist. And I think him practice into Montego Bay, out of Montego Bay. Good evening, good afternoon.
Good evening to you, Muta.
Oh, yeah, man.
All your listeners.
Yeah, man. All right, you have your office in Montego Bay?
Yes, sir.
Which part of Mobile you get? Which part of Mobile there?
Right on the front page, you know, when you go into Pier 1, Teshuva Wellness, right on Hard Cook Boulevard.
Right there, so?
Yeah, man.
I think a Pier store there where I sell clothes and things there.
Well, we have to sneak in somehow.
All right, all right. So how long you practice doctor now? How long is a doctor?
Me, when did I finish medical school? 2005, so that's about 16 years.
Mm-hmm. And you travel abroad if you do any further studies?
Yeah, well, what happened, I did my training, postgraduate training in blood and cancer at UWI. And then I came to Mobile to take up a post as one of the head doctors in cancer treatment at the public hospital. Mm. But then I started linking up with some doctors overseas, started going overseas to train with them and learning some other things. And it blossomed into me having my own practice.
Okay.
So I'm grateful.
Yeah, all right. I hear you, well, I must tell the people themselves, your father introduced me to you. Your father was very enthusiastic that at last him find somebody where we listen to him son. I never believe, because late at the night him WhatsApp me and say, oh, Mr. Miller call, but I call you about 5 times, I get no answer, so.
Oh, I never said the guy, but that is a good guy, man.
What's up? All right.
Yeah.
What is ozone therapy?
Ozone. All right. Well, that is my bread and butter. I do it every day. It's a treatment technique that I learned. It comes out of Germany. Essentially, ozone is pure natural oxygen, but instead of 2 atoms, oxygen are O2.
Yes.
Instead of 2 atoms, we find a scientific way to convert it to O3. And so that is ozone. The same ozone that you have in the so-called ozone layer.
Yes.
That protect the Earth's atmosphere, but it's a very natural and healing compound. And so what we do in ozone, go ahead.
No, talk.
Yeah, man. So what we do, it wasn't me who came up with it. It's several decades old. So, the Germans are usually good at these things.
Yeah.
And they found a way to recreate it in the lab, because our body naturally produces ozone in a muta. A lot of people don't know that. And it's a part of the normal immune response when things are trouble you, viruses, bacteria, and so on.
Yeah.
So they figured if you could recreate it in the lab, they could find a way to make it useful for the body. And to be honest with you, what they initially intended it for, it has far surpassed anything they were planning. And so I've been using it for a little while to help with my cancer patients. There are numerous studies coming out about the various applications.
All right, so tell me something. How that fit into the present day problems we have now, which is the COVID? How you use COVID if it can deal with it? Can it deal with where we have it now?
You know, yes. The simple answer is yes. I know it's controversial because there's a lot of misinformation out there now.
No, we use the controversy, man. Just start it, man. What you say, man? Start the controversy, man.
No, man, this is a very powerful. So one of the main things about ozone that has been established long before COVID is that once it comes into contact with viruses, it kills them on contact. That has been established for decades. And so what they've been working on is refine ways to make it safer and safer to administer. The technique that I use is one that has been used probably, I'd say, about 10 million times across the world with no documented side effects. And it is used, in the case of viruses, it is used very effectively. You know how these things go. A lot of these things don't get readily published, but the Italians and the Germans are publishing reams and reams of literature about its efficacy for viruses. And at last research that I did, there's quite a few articles coming out over the past 6 months about its specific efficacy for COVID.
Okay, all right. So tell me how it works on the body. Because we hear about the immune system and strengthening the immune system. We hear that the vaccine is hitting the immune system, strengthening the immune system and causing a lot of havoc. What is it that the ozone therapy is doing to the COVID that you can now swear as a doctor say, this is the thing for the COVID?
Well, I want to let you know, first of all, that I got COVID. I got it in February.
Oh, yeah?
My wife got it. Yeah.
And your father got it too?
And my father got it too. Which is
a family of COVIDs.
Boy, it's not at the same time, but you know how these things go.
Yeah.
And so we knew already what the plan was going to be if any of us got it. So we just did the treatment, and within a couple of days, all the symptoms gone. Aside from that, though, the question you're asking, I think it's important for people to understand how this virus immune system works. Because when a virus gets into the body, there are only three things that will determine the outcome. One is how fast the body can realize that the virus is there. Two is how fast it can destroy it. And then three now is after it destroys, so a whole heap of havoc and rubber going to be left. So it's how fast the body can clean up and get back to normal.
Back to normal, yeah.
Right. So when you see playing out in the news, people comment them different conspiracy and this and that, it's really just a matter of how strong was your immune system. Or maybe strong is not the right word. How effective was your immune system before the virus came into contact with your body? That's what's going to determine your response to the virus itself and also to the vaccine. So it's not really as complicated as people are making it. It's three simple things. Now, those three simple things now, depending on what you use to try and treat the virus to assist the body, it can make it a little bit more complex.
Yes.
Now, for me, ozone treatment, I had already been told when I trained overseas that it's efficacious for viruses. I had no doubt in my mind that no matter what was coming, this would be something to be recommended. And so I'm here to just present a different option. I'm not here to try and fight against vaccine or recommend or not recommend.
Of course,
I just providing options for people.
Yeah.
And everybody wants options.
Of course. Some people use fever grass and ginger and all them something as an option.
Well, that is it. And I'm not going to knock on next man. But what I do know is I treated myself, I treated my family, and I've treated a couple of patients since then as well. And I mean, when you see the patient coming in, man, and them fever and short of breath, and them look like, boy, you see the fear in their eyes. And you say to them, boy, we can do something for you. Put them on the treatment, and within by the next day, next 2 days, they come in, oxygen levels are back to normal.
How critical them is when you treat them? Because you say 2 days them go back to normal, but how critical them was before you treat them?
Well, this week I treated a gentleman. Oxygen levels had fallen to 92. Temperature 101, I think it was. Pulse rate flying up in the air. Can barely walk without short of breath. Coughing uncontrollably. And after one treatment, by the next day, oxygen levels gone back up to normal. Normal 95 to 100.
You're serious?
Yeah, man. So it's not a matter of trying to find a cure. It's more a matter of trying to support the immune system to do what it was created to do naturally. You understand?
All right.
And
So you are saying the ozone therapy without the vaccine is able to use your immune system to the level where it's much faster than anything that is available now, including the vaccine.
I can't say definitively whether it is faster than a next man thing. All I can say is that I've seen it work. I have the literature to back up the fact that it works. It works
and
on me.
You physically use it and it works.
Yeah, man. And even outside of the virus, it's something that I use every now and then. Every 2 months or so, I do a little top up in case my body feel a little rundown, because it has a lot of other benefits. The ladies going to love to know that it's anti-aging and all these things. So something that, and there are no side effects. I've been doing treatments. I've supervised maybe 250, 300 sessions since I was trained. I've never seen anybody.
Hold on. You mean with other viruses or with the COVID?
Just no, man, not with viruses. Just treating people.
Oh, cancer and all them things.
Cancer, immune problems. People who just run down and them say, "Boy, doc, we need something to just boost me up." I've treated about 250, 300 sessions easily. I've never seen anybody have any side effects with it, because
how much COVID, you know, we have to hold on a little, bit. Here, don't move.
No problem.
I go for some ad.